Welcome to the Transmit Podcast. I'm your host, Spike.
I'm Victor.
I'm Samantha.
And today, we watched Seventh Son. Well, I watched Seventh Son today. Do you guys watch Seventh Son today?
I barely watched it.
Good Lord.
I've already seen it a couple times.
What the? Am I the only one who took notes?
Victor started
I
taking
took a
notes
couple
yesterday.
notes, but
Oh my God.
He left them.
The level of professionalism I'm seeing here is astonishing, let me tell you.
I mean, but why would we take notes for such a shitty movie?
Okay, listen.
I feel like the terrible parts kind of like stick out in your brain.
I don't like fantasy movies.
Okay, for one, we'll get into that later then. Let's do a little bit of lounge shit. And then, oh my God. That's fine. Okay, who has had terrible green, like light green guacamole before?
I have. That's
Yeah.
American guacamole. They put sour cream in it to extend it out.
Yeah, and
Or mayonnaise.
or something, because I went to what was that Cotijas.
They're notorious.
It used to be like my favorite, and now it's like they have like this. The guacamole used to be good. Then I got this stuff that looked like something out of '90s era Nickelodeon on my on my fries.
You know what? As long as I've known of Cotijas, they've always had that American guacamole.
I guess
It's nasty.
I think you started out at Cotijas and you didn't know any better,
and then I went to better stuff.
and then you had like actual guac, and then when you came back, professionalism.
Oh God! Okay, that's my bad. I never get like messages. That's for the group thing for training tonight. But the unimportant.
There's actually a place that when we used to live out in Hamul that we used to go to. I forget what it was called, but you could choose if you wanted American or Mexican guacamole, and both tasted great, but the real stuff is.
Yeah, I like it when it's chunky, almost like the consistency of like
Oh yeah.
ice cream.
I like it
Like
when
you have to scoop it out.
Oh yeah, I like it when they make it in front of you, and they have that little like cart they pull up.
You mean like at El Torito's?
Any place like that. I had like a place like that at in Virginia Beach. It was really nice.
So that's not real Mexican food.
Oh no, it was real Mexican. It was like an actual Mexican restaurant that they opened in that area. Actually, it was a restaurant, not a.
Yeah, but
It was straight up
catering
full of Mexicans.
very
Serving
white
very Mexican dishes. Virginia Beach is rather diverse because they have a naval station there. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't trust it.
Are you part of like the whole Mexican food class warfare that's going on?
We have the best. There's no there's no war.
100%. I actually just saw.
Or there was like.
I just saw a meme that was like the Mexican food gods, and one was San Diego, and then bowing down to it were like
Texas and
Phoenix, Texas, trash Midwest.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh yeah, it was great. No, see, that's why it's not a war if you just win every time. A war implies there's like back and forth or like no, it's just victory. That's all it is. Okay.
I would assume. I feel like whoever made that was definitely obviously biased in favor of San Diego.
No, they are correct in favor of San Diego. There's a difference again.
I feel like I would assume though that LA would probably have. This is just my assumption. Completely objectively.
There you go.
LA would have the best Mexican food.
LA actually does have really. You were with me when we went to a taco truck in LA.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We went up with Anthony for a wrestling show, and that was like
really
good.
I think they would win points because we don't really have taco trucks like that here in San Diego, do we?
We don't.
We have a few, but they're not
as prevalent.
Yeah.
Like
so I feel like LA might have everything. They probably have good sauces, burrito variations, taco variations. Exotic.
The midnight taco trucks are the best though in LA.
Really?
Uh-huh.
We have to go up there at midnight now. That's the only option open to us at this juncture.
I don't know. And I've never really had Mexican food elsewhere besides LA or San Diego.
Or Mexico.
Or Mexico. I would say actually Mexico is probably the best tacos though.
Well, there they just call
I mean, of course.
Yeah,
it's just food.
Yeah, there they just call it food. Yeah.
So I feel like they would have the best Mexican food. But if you're talking about American Mexican foods.
God, that's what I'd love to give
probably Southern California probably wins.
Oh yeah, Southern California totally wins. I want to give like a tour to like a foreigner and just say, hey, would you like some here food? It's like, but it wouldn't fly all that well because like English would probably be a second language.
Where
San Francisco though also actually has some really good Mexican food. There's some really authentic places in San Francisco that I've been.
Oh yeah.
I've never taken you there, though. We didn't go into that part of San Francisco.
I think this make me hungry. We should do, when things open up a little bit more, we should do, like, Mexican food reviews.
Oh, yeah, they're starting to do that now.
Of all the places in San Diego.
We definitely should. Absolutely. Yeah, but they're starting to do that. Like my where I train, they can do like 25% capacity. And so he just went off like how many people can be jammed into that building. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh yeah, we can have like 25 people here. So it's like, okay, I'm fine. Because before we were just like out in the park throwing punches at each other when we did sparring.
Well, yeah, things are going to change at some point eventually.
Yeah, I think they're getting there. I've also seen a bunch of like news articles now that, you know, lockdowns aren't as political as they once were since it's kind of on its way out. They're just like, people are openly saying, okay, we're probably never going to do it like this again.
People are still actually really upset because they've instituted a color-coded tier. And San Diego is one of the few that's not in purple, which is like tier 1, which is like you can't do anything because you can't stop spreading it. You demon creatures, but we're in orange, which is like not as bad.
I think whatever comes of this, the lasting impact is not something we're going to see every day. It's kind of like 9/11. Whatever changed after that, we're not going to see. We don't really feel every day.
I mean, I don't ever want to be within 6 feet of other people ever again.
Oh God!
And I like the masks too, because then you can like.
Well, I never wanted to be in 6 feet of anyone ever anyway.
Yeah,
so.
You guys are a couple of horrible misanthropes. I engage with the public for a living.
Yeah, but you can like sort of invisibly curse at people and they never know, and it's
true.
You know, people are like, oh, you should smile, and you smile through your mask and you can literally just be grimacing and it looks like a smile.
Yeah, I had that talk with one of the people at work. It's like, people can't tell if I usually like give people a smile that I actually like at work, but now it just looks like I'm squinting at them.
Yeah.
So it's like what are you looking at me like that for? It's like,
it
no,
has to be
a
like
smile.
a smile gesture.
I mean, that's actually something that we discuss in my line of work, is how to go beyond the mask. I call it projecting beyond the mask. You know, it's vocalizing and verbalizing and body gestures. So a wave and all different sorts of things, so people
curtsies.
Understand that
I'm gonna tap in. I'm gonna tap into my inner nerd here on this one, and I read all the Halo novels, especially the ones that had the original Spartan 2s. And so what I was gonna do is I'm gonna do the thing they did because they all wore helmets. You remember? So when all the Spartans wanted to say
I don't remember.
Oh, well, Spartans wear helmets. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about Halo.
Oh yeah. Well, in Halo, all the Spartans, they wear like full face, like covering helmets. And so when these people that have like been like indoctrinated from childhood to be soldiers want to smile at each other, in that they just do a little smile like line on the faceplate where the mouth is.
Oh.
So that's gonna be my thing. I'm just gonna start gesturing that. I'm gonna get that rolling. Smile gesture.
Good luck with that.
We went to a Walmart once where this guy, one of the greeters,
Oh yeah.
you can tell. Well, he was wearing a mask and he was trying to get around that whole thing.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I think that's what he was trying to do.
He was projecting beyond his mask.
Yeah. I think he was like an early 20s guy.
Oh yeah.
Something.
He might have been like 19.
He was gesturing really big with his arms and he was saying, "Welcome to Walmart."
Well, yeah, because
welcome. Greetings.
Good sir.
Like,
I dare say.
We decided he was trying to be an NPC.
He did that. He did the same exact motion.
Every time. He just pressed that program.
And he had only 2 or 3 different lines that he used on everybody. I think he was definitely a nerd who was playing up his role in life as an NPC.
Yeah, if you were to talk to him, like suddenly, like all that would happen is like 3 dialogue options would pop up under his head.
Yeah.
It's like, where is the bathroom? How are you doing? Where is sporting? Like, that's all you could ask him.
It's like, why can't I ask you anything else?
I wanted to know like where women's lingerie is, but now I don't have that option here.
And when he's waiting for you to make a choice, he's just kind of like moving back and forth.
Just a tiny little looped animation.
Oh my God.
A dead eye just staring like into
someone else walks in. He's like, "Welcome."
It's like, what? No, he like brushes your chest as he does the same candle like gesture.
It's actually one of my favorite TikTok trends was the choose your character.
Oh yeah, those are
videos,
good.
And it's a lot of them, like a lot of like stay-at-home tired moms are doing them.
Oh yeah,
and it's like choose your character, and it's a mom in like her bathrobe and her like messy bun in her pajamas with a cup of coffee and just kind of bobbing. And then her next one is like geared up for doing yoga, so she's got like a tank top and
Yoga pants.
got
the little roll
and the
under
mat.
arm. Yeah.
And then the next one is, I don't know, like something else, like holding the dog and holding a ball or something. Like just
It goes on like that, like all the
they're
states she would be in.
So good.
Oh, that's got to be great. All right, let me see here. I got a couple more things I'd like to talk about before we get into the movie. Besides, like we had to touch on the real world a little bit with that. I have experienced like a serious number of suicidal rabbits at my job, especially as like it starts to get darker earlier. Because they like to wait until you're like 20 feet away from them, then they dart out in front of your vehicle while you're doing 40. So you just hope they stopped before you kill the small, adorable animal.
Sounds about right.
Like I have no idea what nature was like doing when it made some of these animals.
Yeah, I think what they do is they get scared from the vibrations and they just jump out of their hiding spot.
It's like towards the light. It's so beautiful.
To the next hiding spot, but they don't know that they haven't evolved
To the point.
I don't know, deal with giant, fast-moving vehicles.
It's like we
Giant
don't
fast
understand that behind that beautiful light is like 3 tons of steel.
Yeah, they don't know that yet.
And me listening to an audio drama about like secret government agencies.
Well, hopefully you haven't killed any rabbits yet.
I've probably killed like the one of them. Like it looked like he was under. I felt so bad.
There was one time I was driving home from my aunt and uncle's house. I must have been like, I don't know, 21. And it was kind of dark. The rest of my family was still there. And I'm going, it's in Ramona, and it's dark, and it's windy. There's no lights in this 2-lane road. And I get like a straightaway, and I can kind of gun it a little bit.
Yeah.
And this little bastard ran across, and I looked in my rear view mirror and my side view mirror. He was nowhere to be seen.
That's
And
always
I was like, oh God. And I called my dad crying.
Oh yeah, no, because there's.
He was still back at my aunt and uncle's house. And I was like, I just ran over a rabbit. I kind of felt it thud.
Oh God.
I think it's dead. He was like, are you freaking kidding me?
That's a sad thing. Okay.
I ran over a snake once.
Oh, that's more real estate to hit because they're longer. It's worse for a road.
Me and Luciano back in 2008 were coming back from Coachella.
Oh, you went to Coachella, cool.
And then we were just driving along, and then all of a sudden we see this like thing.
Oh yeah, winding.
Yeah, a squiggly going across the road like really quick. Like they can move pretty fast.
Oh, and they want to, yeah.
But it wasn't fast enough. And then like I heard this like pop.
Oh.
They just like pop.
Okay, this is getting sad.
So, I have another story real quick.
Oh God.
We my family used to go down to Borrego Springs and take the RV and hang out for like a weekend. And my aunt was coming down later, and she drove down and ran over a snake and didn't see it in the road behind her, and she basically had to sell her car because
she thought
the snake can get like wrapped up inside. Yeah, she was.
Oh yeah, well that's why it's called a phobia, not like irrational. Phobias are like in the definition is irrational fears. Like you can't. It's in your wiring. So I understand like that one. Like my dad's girlfriend, she would like see a snake through like a big sliding glass door and she would scream. So it's like, it's just programmed into some people to have a fear of some things. Sometimes snakes, sometimes the color red. Mm-hmm. It's so weird. I think there is people who are comfortable with that.
Are there people that don't like certain colors so much that they're phobias?
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to say there is, yes.
I guess that makes sense.
Okay, so I want to talk about we don't think we talked about the Rogue trailer. Like we talked about that trailer roundup and we didn't.
We did.
We did.
We did? I could have sworn we didn't. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, we talked about Rogue.
Like I do not buy her as a special ops I buy her as the data person.
Yeah, you said that.
I'm sorry. It's just I don't know.
Is it still just like stuck in your craw? Like you can't let it go?
In my craw because it's not like G.I. Jane where they like at some point she is like filthy and has to shave her head to do the thing. It's like she's always looking fabulous in the African wilderness. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
See,
I guess they kind of went with kind of a fictional tone for that.
Yeah, they really did. With it looks like it turns into a horror movie in the midpoint.
They weren't trying to go like all super realistic with it. Like
with the murder lion.
Megan Fox isn't going to win like an Oscar or anything.
It's kind of interesting because
She might. I don't know. Maybe we have to watch the movie. Maybe she does a really good job.
Honestly, I'd like to see a movie. I just thought of this. I want to see a movie with her as Arnold Schwarzenegger's character and just a bunch of hot, like Hollywood hot chicks playing all the parts in a remake of the original Predator movie.
Whoa.
That's what I want to see. Shot for shot remake.
That'd be cool.
So it's kind of funny. We're talking about Megan Fox not being very believable. Maybe it's because of her past as, the actress in Transformers. But
yeah,
the three of us saw The Hunt, which had a very slight woman.
Yeah.
Particularly, she was tall, but pretty slight, who ends up being the total badass in the film. I had my mom watch it last night while my cousin was fixing my car.
Betty Gilpin, she did a really great job. Betty Gilpin.
But you first see her, she doesn't necessarily look particularly believable until they show you how she uses like leverage and items around her and different sorts of things.
Also, one of her most famous roles isn't her just being used as being draped over like motor equipment as hot chick.
Yeah, that's true.
Draped over motor.
Basically, it's weird how that story is technically her story, but realistically, she's used as just like, here is hot chick over engine.
And then in Transformers 2, they had that scene where she was sitting on the motorcycle,
again,
and then the camera was under the undershot going up.
Just trying to get under that part where her shorts kind of popped open a little bit.
She's had to deal with a lot of bullshit because of that. Like, she's never been able to have, like, she's done great movies. Jennifer's Body that's
pretty good, yeah.
People freaking love that, but she's never really had a film where people took her seriously because she's always kind of been typecast as this dumb.
I was going to talk about Michael Bay's shot, but you talked
character.
You have a completely different take on that. I was going to say that shot where she's on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like, Michael Bay could make small objects look gigantic. Like, it looked like that whole motorcycle was like a giant mountain range. Well, yeah. And then with the depth of field in the background and everything. And then in Bad Boys, when he's panning around both of them, they look huge.
Yeah, they cover that. I think
he's able to make things look gigantic.
I forget who it is, but maybe every frame of painting, like when they talk about like people who tried James, he's really good. Michael Bay, he's really good at that aspect of cinematography. He has a real eye for it. It's just every other part of him making movies is like a 12-year-old who hates humanity.
Yeah, and he's extremely, well, I don't know if it's extremely, but his sexism kind of shows.
Yeah.
So I think it's more, it's his raging erection.
Yeah, his raging erection.
Which
he's a man of his times, whatever.
And they talk about that, like the way he captures, like when they do the pan around, like in Bad Boys, it's not just them panning around. It's like he makes sure there's things in the background and then the far background to give you this contrasting amount of movement. And so when they try to do that in like Battleship, it's just a camera panning around a guy and there's some background behind him. It does not have the same effect.
Yeah, he's mastered that. He's got some like a.
He's like a boxer with
hidden knowledge.
Yeah, he's like a boxer with like 4 really, really good moves.
Yeah.
He sold his soul to the devil, but he didn't ask for the right things.
No, yeah.
He's like, I want to be able to make really great action scenes and, blow stuff up really great for films, and that's what I want to be known for. And
he's like, and I want to have good cinematography. And the devil's like, all right.
The devil said, the devil.
Oh no, you said that too late. You said that last part too late.
I think the devil handed him a sheet piece of paper and just say, fill out what you want in as far as skill sets for movies on this piece of paper, and he just doodled on it with a crayon for a second, and it was just a picture of an explosion and like a chick, like a stick figure chick with big like circles for boobs, and then it said "make movie good." It's like, okay.
The devil's like,
he's gonna be a good.
Right,
another one of these, okay. All right, now okay, so let me see here. Let me pull up the trailer for this weekend because let's move on to Seventh Son. How about that?
I thought it was gonna be about space, like the Seventh Son and like a.
Oh my god!
God damn.
So
wait,
triple binary star system with an extra sun.
Okay, there's a commercial before the commercial I asked for.
So did you know before you watched this film that it's based on a book series?
I did not. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, let's get some background before we get into the trailer.
Okay.
Does anyone know any background about?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's like there's at least 10, probably 15 or 20 books in the series at this point. And what's kind of interesting is that the I'm just saying what's kind of interesting that makes me think of The Room. What's interesting about it is, so the character Thomas Ward is actually like 12 or 13 years old in the books.
Oh, yeah?
Might even be 11 when he first starts, but they have Ben Barnes playing this character in
So
this
hot
film.
20-something.
And he's like 23 at least. You know, but this dude's actually like way older now. He was known for being Prince Caspian in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series.
It's got a
Well, here. So since we got the little bit of background
pretty
here.
start. Wait, I'm gonna list the cast.
Oh,
It
okay.
is
Ben
a very-
Barnes.
Well, here before we do that,
Alright,
I think
okay.
a little bit of trailer. Let's
Let's
give
get the trailer.
just so we get like so you can hear what's the deal, what the feel of this is. So it's got legendary pictures. It's showing like
We'll leave this place soon.
you know he
I
wants
knew
to
this
go.
day would come. Be wise. Be careful.
These are some of the most
Everything you
generic
ever knew
trailer
is
lines
inside
ever.
you, my son.
I knew this day would come. I feared this day. Oh. Got
I
Jeff.
have been searching for you, Mr. Ward.
He's got a giant wad of cotton in his mouth.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Oh yeah.
An order of noble knights combating the forces of darkness. It
Dark.
says here that there are 1,000 of you.
Wait, does it get to the part because I remember some of these trailers they would they shifted to the comedy portion of this at some point. There was like an intense
Live
part,
in a world now where legend
and then it would show some of the funny bits. I think this is the intense trailer. Oh yeah, they fight that troll thing.
You should have prepared for this. Professionalism.
I should have, but you know what? I don't have that. So let's get back into.
So they literally condensed like the main plot line of the entire book series and cut out. I mean, they would have done better if they had done it more book by book, because then you could have gotten more bang for your buck.
Yeah, because
And
it
in the
does feel like a
investment-
mess.
Yes, so it's a massive book series. They're not fantastic books, but they're enjoyable and they're interesting. And
So
you're following this kid growing up.
yeah,
And you get to the end in this book and it's like, "Oh, well, now you're the spook and I get to go live my life." And it's like
that's kind of
that's like way far in the books. That
Oh, yeah, 'cause-
legitimately does it, cuz it's called The Last Apprentice.
oh yeah.
As opposed to Seventh Son, which is, let's just boil it down to he's the seventh son of a seventh son who's supposed to be like
Well,
really strong and gifted in magic.
so let's get to that part through the story, like because this kind of opens up with like they show the Greg.
Are we going scene by
Well,
scene again?
not scene by scene, but like every half a scene by half a scene. Where I'm trying to like break it down. Well, I'm just getting the setup. The setup is Jeff Bridges locks his dragon girlfriend in a
Julianne
prison.
Moore.
Julianne Moore, who's like freaking banging.
Yeah, she's got a cool dress this whole time, like a bony thing, and that's what you see is like she spends like 10 years locked away, and cut forward.
It's not even like 10 years.
Well, in this movie, 10 years. That's I know, like it feels disappointing. Like that's what she got out of this is 10 years. I was hoping that was like
Thousands of years.
thousands of years. Like this is we're hundreds of seventh sons down the line. Nope, 10 years. And Jon Snow is going to get his master.
Kit Harington's
Jeff
up.
Bridges.
Yeah, they had Kit Harington in it.
I'm gonna call him Jon Snow for his entire runtime.
I
Don't.
thought Kit Harington was going to be in it more.
This is what happened to him after he got done with the Night's Watch.
No.
Once that wall fell, he didn't have a job anymore technically, so he found new employment. And I love the little drunken fight scene. He's sitting there like, oh, I'm committed to this seat. And that's one of the funnest parts of the movie. Honestly, is like drunk Jeff Bridges speaking like he had half a stroke.
It sounds like he's always eating a steak or something
Yeah.
like that.
I mean that was a stylistic
That was, but
choice that they made, because that's definitely not really anything.
they
that
heard
talk about in the book.
they heard his thing in True Grit, and he was like, "Well, can you do that voice, but like take it down by like half?"
And the Kingsman too.
And the Kingsman, yeah, we saw that, and listen, we like it, but it sounds too much like you had an aneurysm. So just roll it.
Is he a wizard?
Yes. It's like, okay, I think
You got magic in you, boy. I can teach you a thing or two about magic.
the staff. You
Oh
mastered
my
it. You
God.
can master any weapon.
You're a seventh son of a seventh song.
Okay, so,
seventh
Stop.
song.
they go fight. They get the call to go exercise this little girl who's like on some real roids. She's like been taking her supplements, and she's also been possessed by his dragon girlfriend.
Who is this? Who is this? Alicia Vikander?
No.
No, this is the little girl they exercise. And
Oh.
The first, you were kind of halfway awake when we watched that part last night.
oh my
I was,
god.
I was awake the whole. I just wasn't.
Well, okay, so he and Jon Snow,
Paying attention.
for some reason, he says, get the net, get the silver, get the longbow. I don't know why you're going to bring a longbow into a church to, like, take out a little girl. It's like, that 9-year-old, you're gonna want to take her out from at least 20 yards away, so get the longbow.
Well, they about had to.
Yeah, they about had to, and so she, like, dragon girlfriend, like, pops out of her, like, they exercise her, and then they get into a little fight. Jon Snow gets him with the net. And they get her in a cage, but she like.
Oh,
yanks
that's
him
the
into
part where it
cage.
looks like they're like both flying a dragon kite together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then- okay, pull
They're
the
like,
left, pull the left.
flying-
I like it
father.
because she drags him out the door and he clips his head, and I'm sitting there like, oh, he's dead there. It's not like he caught the shoulders too; it's like full forehead, just crack.
But no, remember, seventh son of a seventh son
Yeah,
is
that was like-
7 times stronger than a regular man.
So that was like 12 suns worth of skull damage there, I'd estimate. But that's fine. So. Yeah, they get her in there, and he tries to like she corrupts him, is what they say, and this is where you can tell like a lot of the movie's been like was cut out at some point,
Probably.
because like at a certain point he's saying no, he's still alive, and it's like, well, he's never brought up again after that point. Like he's like, I can feel the darkness, and you think like, oh, he's been corrupted, you're gonna see him later. Like, oh no, he's just gone from the movie. He's maybe they thought he was gonna be in the sequel.
The Seventh Son. The
seventh-
mega sequel.
The 7th son of the
No.
8th son. This time it's personal.
This came out in 2014, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't.
This movie majorly flopped.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh boy.
I mean, and it's really because they condensed like 15 books into one thing, and they cut out all of the really good stuff.
And I didn't even know any of this. I never knew about it. When he said Seventh Son, and I started watching it, I was like, oh, it's one of those made for Netflix movies that's got like a
Nope, this
star-studded
was-
cast
Seems
with
like
Jeff
it
Bridges.
would have been.
No, yeah. This would fit in right now with like, okay, we have several $1 million.
No, if Netflix had made it, it would have been better.
Probably would have been better. Yeah. Okay, so enter generic handsome white dude, who's hunting like a deer with a knife, and he throws it and it sinks and he misses. And you
Prince
can.
Caspian.
You set up that, okay, this is going to be his arc, is the knife throwing thing. And sadly that does not pay off the way you think it does later. I mean, technically it kind of does, but we'll get to that later. They totally like blow that. He has the vision of Greg showing up. He's a pig feeder. It's a real like going for the Luke Skywalker thing. It's like, I'm not going to be a pig feeder all my life.
Yeah, I've noticed that they put like a very strong glow
something.
filter on this. Everything looks very glowy.
Yeah. I like that it's nice and colorful, but yeah, it was a weird choice.
It's like they went high on the fog glow filter.
Yeah, they show the mother hiding like her weird pendant thingy as the spook shows up.
Which I think is because a lot of the stuff I bet was shot on green screen. That's my theory.
Probably. You
That
had
would
something to
make
say about
sense.
the pendant?
No, I was just gonna say that they go through the whole thing where the spook needs his next apprentice.
Yeah.
And the alleged. I don't even remember. I don't even think this is part of the books. I don't remember that they have visions of each other. But he basically buys this seventh son
I was gonna say
from the family.
He buys it like, I'm here to buy a human being. Well,
Wow.
listen, I'm okay as long as he's not black. No, he's white. Okay, we can buy him. Okay. There's no implications here.
And I'm trying. I can't remember if, and I feel like it's probably true in the books that his mother is a witch, but I don't remember that there was actually this kind of a connection between Thomas's mother and Mother Malkin, who is Julianne Moore's character, where
Yeah, I think
they show later that the pendant that she actually gives to Tom when he leaves is something of immense power that she stole from Mother Malkin.
I think
which
that was
helped her
another
be
that was another
defeated.
one of those things they kind of cut out. It's like, because it's kind of mentioned like it has way more gravitas than they really give it.
Yeah, but I think that might have been something that they made up themselves.
They might have,
for
yeah.
the film, because Maybe I just didn't read far enough into it, but there's other stuff in the book series where like his whole town basically goes up in flames.
Wait, so one way or another, like that was like either poorly handled from the material or just crammed in because it doesn't feel right. That stone thing.
No, it's kind of just this random thing that's
it's mostly
suddenly used so that they can win.
It's a MacGuffin so the movie can happen thing because like it's what gives later on like Witch Girl. She's like has to get
Alice.
it. I'm calling all these people by some generic moniker. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, that's Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, so she's Witch Girl to me, and she's
Which is kind of funny. Alice, played by Alicia. Same name.
So yeah, we'll get to that later then. I like it because she's there sitting there like I'm here for a seventh son and I'm hungry, and so he's like, where's your kid? I need to buy it. It's like he's like I like the lines. There's some really good lines in this. It's like what's with the hand gesturing? I'm trying to get to it here.
We don't have to go through every.
I'm not going through
scene.
every. I'm trying to. I'm not every. Okay, shh. Just let me do this thing. You're dragging this out.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
So I like the line because he's.
I fast tracked us.
Actually, hard pass on that one. No, you didn't. So, God, now you threw me off. Okay, so he's in the kitchen.
You like the whole thing. The congrats to the cook for the great food.
No, I was getting to the part that I liked is that it's like the father starts to say he's strong and never mind. I'm skipping that part. It's. I like how he skips to the part where the negotiations have begun.
Yeah.
He delivered it. There's some really good. I'm trying to get to it. There's some really good lines in this, and that some of the writing is very like clever in the back and forth.
Some of it.
I do like that. So whoever did the punch up for this was actually really good. All right, dragon girlfriend cures her sister of some serious flakiness. That was kind of because it didn't look like a burn. It looked like she had just had like dry skin.
Yeah, Bony Lizzie in the books is actually like not out and roaming around. She's like actually trapped in I think like catacombs basically that Master Gregory has maintained.
So here she's just hanging out at the old place, and then
really strange.
Then Dragon Girlfriend brings basically magic Neutrogena and says, "Here you go, your skin's better." Let's see. I like how the seventh son, generic handsome boy, he starts having second thoughts like immediately upon giving one shopping list, like go get like salt, iron, and some bacon. And he's like, "Oh, I hate being a second son. I wish I was a sixth son." And I'm like, they must have cut something out there because like he went from like, okay, this is interesting to I'm having regrets over nothing.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
I think what they maybe were trying to convey is that he thought he was going to have this exciting life, and now he's just an errand boy.
That's true, but that is like stop one. Like you think
Yeah.
you'd be like, if you told me like, hey, we're going to adventure, but we need some food first, I wouldn't be like, oh, food? No, I get it.
They've kept some of that's somewhat faithful to
Yeah.
the story where Master Gregory's kind of just a dick.
Oh yeah.
And you know the friendship between Tom and Alice is what happens in the books too, except you know they don't end up screwing in the books because you know they're literally like 12 years old.
Oh, that wouldn't be all that weird. Come on, it's the 1800s. I thought they were getting married at that time. I mean, it's like a 30-year-old man, but you know, it's no, I'm kidding.
I don't know. I'm one of those. I'm kind of a purist when it comes to things like this.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that they're like, we're
Hot
gonna
20-somethings.
scale it for you know
For the teen
a
audience.
wider crowd. Like they didn't do that for Harry Potter,
No,
and
they
it was
didn't.
still a great series. You were still able
they-
to follow him growing up.
But they actually went by book, and not like, okay, here's 5
Right.
books crammed into one movie.
Right.
And people actually read Harry Potter. I don't know.
People actually-
I never
yeah.
heard of this book that you're.
So let's see. Tom
book
saves
series.
the witch girl, which he later ends up going to Pound Town with, and she disappears mysteriously. He doesn't seem to pick up like, oh, she might be magic, and I might have to kill her later. So that was kind of a dumb move on his part. They go to Greg's house, which is it's like a fortress, cave, castle kind of hybrid thing hidden behind some trees.
So they kept the Gregory's house kind of faithful in the books too, where it's
Yeah.
kind of got like a mind of its own,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of cool. Except they made it stupid.
Oh yeah, they get some exposition dump there, and this is where I am going to be like zooming us through it. You learn about the history of the blah blah, and that doesn't matter at all for this movie. He
Yeah,
says,
there's like literally no more spooks left in the world.
except for Jeff there. And so he says, "Go to your chambers, stay in there." And then he wakes up and goes out of his chambers, and there's going to be trouble. He fights like a fiery ghost skeleton armor. And is that part of the house having a mind of its own, or is that just he keeps a dangerous item?
I mean, I don't think that was even part of the books.
It was so weird because he's sitting
It
there.
might have been, but it's like a defense mechanism against outside forces, like not like the kid that you just brought to move into your freaking house.
Yeah, I like that. It's like you're told to stay in your chambers. You failed your first test. Like, wait, stay in bed was my first test? It's like, test 2, fight me. And they have like
what
a...
am I supposed to do if I have to pee?
Yeah, it's like, you piss your pants. It's like, oh, okay. So the seventh son is familiar with soiling himself. Ooh, that is rough. So then they have a little like fight to see if he's made of anything. He's like, no, I have 7 days to train you. It's like, wait, 7 days?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the rise of the blood moon, and that's when Mother Malkin will be at her most powerful, and then she can take over.
It's like, I like that. He's sitting there saying like, yeah, Jon Snow was like 10 years. I have 7 days to train you. I'd be sitting there like, I'm out. What are you talking about? 7 days to train? That makes no sense.
Can we go find some more Seventh Sons?
Seriously, you had a bag of money. Let's go get some people together.
And again, like literally nothing like what happened in the books. Like I'm going to keep harping on this because this was such a disappointing adaptation. Because the books, it's like you are going to have to deal with this, this, and this, but we're not just going to immediately throw you into an end of the world catastrophic battle for the world. Yeah,
that was poor. Like even Luke, it wasn't like end of the galaxy. He just had to fly a fighter ship, which he could do.
Right.
I just love that. Like when he's walking up the stairs before the night, it's like witches. It's like it's just a weird little like line they decided to throw in.
Yeah.
Like I liked it. I don't know how much he ad-libbed, but that felt like an ad-lib there. Oh man, let's see.
Have you guys seen? It kind of reminds me of. Was it Sorcerer's Apprentice? With
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage and
that was way
Zane
more
Briscoe.
fun.
Yeah.
It was stupid, but far more fun.
I never saw it.
So what follows is a training montage that I can only assume takes place over the course of one afternoon because
I think it's like over the course of like 20 minutes.
Seriously, because he just walks him around like his house, and like this is like a medieval version of Cribs. Like, oh, here's the newt, the troll scrotum for your enjoyment. And like that was actually another really fun line. It's like, what is this? The grog kill, cowardice. That was another line from the trailer that they put like some of the best lines in the trailer, and I guess that's always worrying.
That's all I got.
That's all. That's like, yeah. Listen, we front loaded it all in here. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the best parts of the movie.
Basically.
I like that. What's the bald guy's name? He's been in a bunch of stuff. You look like you know.
Which bald?
The bald black dude. There's only one.
Jaimin Hunsu.
Yeah, Jaimin Hunsu shows up with a bunch of assassins. It's like, my finest assassins for you, and like one of them glances at
Mother Malkin.
Dragon Girlfriend, and she just straight up murders him. Like, don't ever look at me. It's like, wait, I thought they were on your side.
I know. She stabs him with her tail. And then was he made of stone? They look like kind of like the terracotta warriors.
They do.
And then he crumbles away.
Yeah, well, these.
So did she turn him into stone, or are they made of rock? I don't understand.
I have no clue what they're.
Not clear.
Unclear, and also they are terrible assassins. Like even the seventh son is like when he first fights one of them, he just jumps on him and like wails on him with the pommel of his sword, and takes him out. It's like
Really?
they're dropping from trees like ninjas, but then they just like go down like punks, like TV ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that is so weird. There's that kind of weird like moonlight nude bathing thing. Like Tom wakes up and goes over there and is like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" It's like, "Oh, just nude bathing randomly near you. There's nothing suspicious about this. I know you're going to save the world, but I'm the odd chick that keeps showing up where you are." It's like
Again. Literally not faithful to any part.
And
of
then
the
they touch, and it's like, oh, the blue spark means that it was such a weird like thing they made up just for the movie. I'm guessing.
No, that was a thing. That's actually in the books, but it's not.
But the way they deliver it is like if you touch hands with the person you're supposed to be with in the moonlight at a particular time, there'll be a blue spark, or it's dust. And I'm like, this is like what? I hate this so much.
I mean.
I guess given that everything else had been kind of lame so far, it didn't fit like into the rest of this thing.
This movie just suffered from poor conceptualism.
And she's sitting there like evading like very obvious like there are good witches, bad witches, and unaware witches. It's like, which are you? So where are you going right now? I'm like, that's your evasion? It's like it'd be more subtle if she like threw a rock into the water. What was that?
Jeez.
I like it in the morning. Everyone pees in the campfire though. Like that was so. I can only imagine the smell. Like what? I don't know who made that decision. It's like, oh yeah, Jeff Bridges, you're gonna pretend to pee in the campfire.
You gotta put it out somehow.
And then the big ogre.
Rather than wasting all your water.
They were literally next to that body, like to a lake.
I know.
And then Tusk, this ogre dude, he has a much bigger stream. There's suddenly a billow of like steam, and I'm like, oh no.
They had to put one of those scenes in there.
Yeah, I guess so. And so then.
What was this movie even rated?
I have no clue. I know it got 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It was a PG-13, so they got away with their one F-bomb.
They did. I loved it because
Witches.
These fucking witches.
We've already ruined our PG-13
We
rating
did.
today.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, damn it. Okay, so
Gosh darn it.
like dag nabbit. So yeah, some king's guards show up and are like, we need you to come to the Great Walled City. And it's like, well, that would be 2 days travel. So I can only assume, like, he said he had less than a week, so he must have only trained him for like one afternoon, and then there's a 2-day journey to another place to fight Bear Dude. Urag.
Which is when Tom finally shows his backbone and he's like, I'm not going to kill this guy because he had that conversation with her about what do monsters dream of? Humans.
So what do they have nightmares of? Human. It's like this super on the nose, like, are you the real monster? Now, excuse me, I'm going to go join my friends that are trying to burn the land. So yeah, they have a little fight. Actually, this is another one of those good lines where it's like, I must fight him alone. It's like, why? It's like ancient code of honor. Also, I don't want to split the reward. And I'm like, okay, that was actually a good line. And they have this. Actually, it was kind of a fun fight, because like it got a little kung fu-y, and they like take him from going to a bear to being a human. He transforms again, and then they throw him. The back and forth is actually pretty fun. But then there was another line delivery that was like. Then there was one that was really weird when they fight him and they like chain him right back in the same cage that he started out in to set him on fire. It's like, I'm not like you. I won't set him on fire. It's like, you're not like me yet, but you will be. I'm like, one or the other.
So all this stuff sounds vaguely familiar to me.
Well, I don't know. Like
Oh my God.
either when you're saying like I'm not like you, you either say not yet, but you will be. The one of the two. Otherwise, it's just like kind of redundant and it doesn't flow right. It felt really weird.
Yeah,
Right?
that movie was just kind of just happening.
It was happening around you, and I'm stuck carrying your water.
Basically.
Scene by scene.
Not scene by scene. We skipped several scenes.
That's fine.
We skipped the scene where they were going through the forest. We skipped the scene where they had like a whole. Okay, never mind.
I'll contribute
There we are.
when I hear something that's.
Let's see, which girl has more bonding time with Tom? That's where they go to Pound Town.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. I think I remember this part.
Of course, you remember the part where the two attractive 20.
I remember they look at each other and then like it cuts to the next scene and they're just laying in a bed next to each other.
Yep.
That
No, because he's like, close. This is
Oh, yeah,
the
close your eyes
stupidest
thing,
part.
yeah.
Close your eyes, and she's like, "What?" He's like, "Just close your eyes," and she's like standing there, and he's like looking at her, and then all of a sudden he like swoops in and kisses her, and I'm like, "Well, she didn't seem like she necessarily was expecting that to happen today." First off,
it's Hollywood
and also
romance.
it was a little gross.
it's Hollywood romance, so they're both leads in the movie, so they got to get going like now.
It was dumb.
I would have loved it if he said close your eyes, and then close your eyes, and then she did it, and then she opened them up again. He was just gone. It's like, how's it feel, bitch?
But yeah, they've already established that this dude has visions.
Oh yeah, I like the first vision like he has, and then he wakes up in a boat and he's wearing different clothes, which means that at some point Jeff Bridges undressed him and then redressed him.
That was like in Jupiter Ascending where she
Yeah.
kept getting dressed while she was unconscious.
Yeah, it's like, why do you keep
It's happened like 3 or 4 times in that
right?
movie.
This one is nowhere. It's kind of weird and stupid, but it's nowhere near as over the top as that. So
Anyway.
like it's I don't know. He has another vision after banging her, and he's like, oh, I got to go back because this is him like seeing if he goes off with her, the whole land is destroyed, apocalypse right now.
Yes.
He finds him like drinking over his dead wife's grave. It's like real charming moment there.
He explains that Mother Malkin got jealous and killed his wife.
Yeah, it shows he finds their drama. It's like, okay, I used to date her, then I got married to a regular chick, then she murdered him, then I trapped her. Boom. It's like there must have been a better way to convey all that story.
And then after that's when they face the the boggart,
Oh, the
which,
boggart.
which they freaking sort of suggested to you earlier in the film. You better hope that they're not asking us to come to the walled city for anything less than a boggart. What's a boggart? You don't want to know.
Well, then now you know.
Now you know. Some big monster
Underground
that
troll thing. They can't
throws
see.
them over the cliff.
Oh, it
basically.
doesn't throw them over the cliff.
No, it doesn't.
They go through a cave
I remember
that
this.
goes immediately to a 300-foot drop.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Like
Whatever.
the
and
geography.
they do a little cliff dive right
yeah,
there.
the geography of this land is insane and only meant for plot convenience.
Yes.
It's like they don't like water, and he's diving into the water. Like
Yeah.
what the?
It's like for a second, it's supposed to make you think like, oh, they escaped the boggarts,
And it's
which is
not,
like the troll from Harry Potter,
Yeah.
basically.
but it's not your Harry Potter boggart, which is just one of those things that takes on the shape of your fears.
Huh, I didn't know that.
So he just jumps into the water, it overturns the boat. There's some guy that's just like
It just
trying
happens to be
to
fishing.
fishing, and then his whole day is ruined now.
Seriously, then the boggart. Like I like to think he drank. He didn't know how to swim. He's dead.
Probably.
Yeah. Drags the Tom around, and he rides him like down a 500-foot waterfall. Then
And then he stabs him he grabs him.
stabs him.
Yeah, the boggart grabs it's a giant, so it's able to grab a human just in his palm of his hand.
It doesn't crush him somehow. Like you think if you were like
Yeah.
grabbing at something while you're about to drown, you might crush like
And
the
that
mouse size.
he stabbed him with his like dagger or something, and like you think that would like not hurt that much, but like it like caused immense pain to this man, and he's like ah.
And then
Probably because it was the type of metal that was in the.
And
in the
he
dagger.
must
It
be
might
his
be.
seventh son, maybe.
He's a seventh son. Yeah, he put his seventh son mojo into that stab, and realistically, like Jeff Bridges later says, you killed you slayed the unslayable, but really he just rode it down a waterfall and it hit a rock.
Yeah, it knocked it out.
It's like, that's my win. I call dibs on this win.
So yeah, he survives the waterfall. He survives like a 300-foot drop and like another 300-foot drop of the waterfall.
It doesn't drown. And then
And then Boney Lizzie shows up.
Boney Liz and like jumps in. Like he survived a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he learns about the Umbran Stone, blah blah blah. And she seems to know that her daughter has the hots for him.
Oh yeah.
I bet it's like she came back. Well, they didn't have like showers as conveniently back then, so she probably came back smelling of sex. So.
Yeah, but they're witches. They can change their whole entire appearance, like easy.
I never saw her change her appearance.
Yes, you did.
Wait, when did she change her appearance?
When she was naked bathing, and then she walked out of the lake,
Oh, so that's
dry, in clothes,
So she put on clothes magically.
and dried herself. She was wet. Her hair was wet.
I like to think that she still smelled like curry when she showed up.
What?
Anyway,
It,
so they resolve themselves to go up to what the
Pendulum.
wait.
oh waiting.
In Japan,
Oh, what happens in Japan?
they you know how we can create synthetic smells like strawberry,
Yeah.
bananas, whatever. In Japan, they created a synthetic sex smell that they pump through sex shops.
Ooh,
Gross.
see they're on the leading edge of sex shop technology. We here are just
I don't.
here at our sex shops. It just smells kind of like dust. You know, it's not. It's such a sad state of affairs. We need to.
I
like,
want to go to a
Japan.
sex shop and see what synthetic sex smells like.
Well, you want to smell what it smells. You don't want to see what it smells like.
See, I want to know.
You want to
Experience.
experience. Yeah. Okay, so moving straight along, because God, this movie is so boring. Honestly, it's
It has. I was just gonna say. I was gonna leave this to the end, but
Oh.
I'm gonna say it now since you opened it up.
okay.
It has no charm. You know.
No, none whatsoever.
The main character has no charm. Jeff
No.
Bridges is the only kind of saving grace, but you can't completely rely on
Jeff
Jeff
Bridges.
Bridges' charm.
Because once
When
again,
everyone else sucks in this movie.
oh yeah, because once again, when after that,
You can't rely on the old guy. You got to have like
Nope.
an interesting main
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, because once again, like after that waterfall scene, he like offers the flask, and it's like you must only have one sip of this per day. It's like, oh, why? Because it is mine. And I'm
Okay,
like,
that's good.
that was charming.
That's good, but you know the main character has to overshadow that, and he doesn't.
He
No
doesn't.
one overshadows Jeff Bridges in this, and Jeff Bridges is left kind of like holding kind of like the bag here, and like
Yeah, he's not doing good.
and he's
Although Julianne
back
Moore
up.
does pretty good I think, as far as
She
being
does.
So.
compelling.
But
As
she's
a
never
villain,
like
yeah.
she's never like really like until the very end not in the same room with Jeff Bridges. So it's not like there's two
That's
charming
true.
actors playing off each other. It's Jeff Bridges bouncing a bouncy rubber ball off like a net.
Yeah. What was the main character's name?
Tom Ward.
Yeah.
Ben Barnes.
Yeah, that's
The
the
actor.
actor.
Ben Barnes.
Because I
You were too old. You should have been a kid or something, or because there's a lot of movies that came out during this time period, like the early 10s, when it was like Percy Jackson and like kids doing mysterious stuff, and like there was a couple Robin Hood movies.
Yeah.
And this was trying to fit into that genre,
It just did not work.
and the genre that I don't even already like, so it had to do extra work to get me to like it,
Yeah.
but it didn't. It
So
failed.
yeah, Witch Girl steals the Umbran Stone, and later she steals it again from her aunt, I guess.
The
And
Umbran Stone.
but I love it when she's like reaching, and it's like the most awkward like yoink of this thing. Like she's trying to like corrupt Jeff Bridges, and she's like, it looks like it's in slow motion, but it looks like it's also not.
She's just going slow.
I think though there's one scene where they realize that the Umbran. So he shows the Umbran Stone to
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges' character, and he's like, "Well, a witch stole that from Mother Malkin. So how did you get it?" And you realize that means that Tom's mother is a witch,
Yep.
and that Tom is also part witch, which is
witch.
probably why he has his visions.
Yep.
And then you see his mom
Later on, she gets
go
the Force
toe
Ghost.
to toe
Yep.
against
She does a
The wall.
badass
I was gonna skip
fight
that
scene.
because yeah.
She actually is like she's a great character that
In the books.
you don't even see her that much
No,
in the
and-
books,
and
but
the
in the
match-
film they actually, I think that's like one character that they actually kind of did well in expanding from what I remember, because you never saw this of his mom. I don't even remember her being a witch in the books. Maybe I missed that. Maybe I didn't read enough of the books. But like, you never saw any of this happen.
She levitates a pitchfork and stabs a dude.
Yeah, because that was the thing that was kind of
It's
disappointing.
legit.
It was a little disappointing, honestly, for me because like she's killing this Dalseem looking guy,
Yeah.
and
And he bursts in the flames when he.
because really she does what that farmer was doing, except with her mind. And like it would have been cool if she like picked it up and threw it from like a far distance or something. Because
Yeah, I know.
all she did
There was magic imbued in the pitchfork.
in the
when she
pitch.
did
Yeah,
it.
there you go. It's just I wish they'd have given it a little more oomph than just like, okay, I'm picking it up.
Yeah, and he didn't even care when he saw it. He
Yeah,
was
he's
just
like-
smiling.
Like, oh, that's staying there, huh? You're gonna stab me with that, I guess. Is
And he
this
got
what's happening?
stabbed, and
Oh,
then
I-
he was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, now something has gone awry, and then she picks it up, the other thing up, and stabs him. But no, back to the final thing. Like,
And then she immediately dies after that too.
yep, she does.
It's
She,
pretty disappointing.
Yeah,
she gets
I mean,
murked.
I think they still did a pretty good job making her a compelling character, as opposed to like her son, who's supposed to be the main character.
I know. He's totally
she
like.
gets a whole like Force ghost thing at like when she's like, I died, and this is my ghost, and I'm talking to you for a minute. Only you can handle the Umbran Stone. Okay, now go fuck off and kill these witches. Like, okay. So, but back to the thing where she's stealing the necklace. I'm sitting there like, she was like way back there. She's walking up past all of these top assassins, and everyone must have been sitting there like, hey, what's she doing reaching for the? Should we stop her? She's reaching for, and now she's grabbing the stone. Should we? I feel like we should stop this, right? No, okay, we're all just. Oh, and then she grabs it and like rolls away, and it's like, are we stopping her now? Like I have no idea like why everyone just stood there and watched her steal the immense, powerful object. Okay, so
I don't remember that.
so that's the end of it.
Oh my god.
I don't remember that part so much.
Well, it was very weird. The two sisters, they fight because Dragon Girlfriend tries to kill Witch Girl,
Yeah.
and then she starts taking out like top level assassins. I'm like, what good are these guys? They are like of no help to anybody. They are just cannon fodder.
Because they don't have a dog in the fight. They
Well, it also does.
don't care.
Well, it doesn't mean you also let someone stab you in the throat.
Yeah.
It's like I don't care about this fight, but I'm also not going to let you kill me. Oh, I let you kill me.
And everyone died all magically in that movie. Everyone
Yeah.
just like disintegrates or bursts into flames. or
Yeah,
something.
bald guy. He fights Jeff Bridges and is like you have no honor. You fight me as a dragon. It's like you know nothing of honor. They have a little fight and he ends it with like should have stayed a dragon.
That's
That was one of my favorite lines. Look, the sisters wound each other mortally. Then Dragon Girlfriend gets some really sad mascara after she transforms back.
Hot.
Yeah, it's kind of hot.
No, man.
And the thing is, like, this is the thing where that knife thing doesn't really pay off all that well, because it's him, like, there's a whole bunch of him trying to, like, throw a knife well. And then he, like, confronts the girl after she steals the stone. And then he, like, throws a knife and sinks it into the eye of an assassin. But later, he sinks it into Dragon Girlfriend's ribcage when she tries to kill Jeff Bridges. And, like, that should have been the time he sunk the knife for the first time. That is the completion of his arc. Otherwise, you're just redoing his arc again.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, that
I
threw
guess
me
so.
off completely.
This movie's not thinking about that kind of stuff.
It really is not. At
No.
some point, they said, listen, we just need to crap out a movie.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, then he gets to, like, he sat, like, after everyone, like, you know, they get into their places, the kid gets branded, and he's chosen this life. The witch is even like, well, listen, I'm feeling a certain sort of way about you, like, killing my brethren, but, you know, I understand what you're doing. And then Jeff Bridges is like, oh, actually, I'm riding off. I've saddled you with taking care of this immense responsibility alone. Bye.
Yeah, with literally zero training.
Incomplete training. It's like, listen, I trained you for half a week.
He
You're
killed the basalt or whatever that was.
Yeah, he rode it down a
Boggart?
waterfall. Yeah, he led.
Boggart.
Okay, realistically, gravity
Basphalt.
gravity killed that thing. He just happened to be in the area when that happened.
It started with the B and ended with the T.
There you go. And I was sitting there thinking, like, listen, he didn't, like, do most of the work killing the witch, the dragon girlfriend, because her sister did most of the damage.
Yeah.
He just, like, threw another thing and then, like, set her on fire with the staff, which that's a really handy staff, let me tell you.
Yeah, the staff looks kind of like one of those bad dragons.
It
say that.
It really does.
Staff looks like a bad dragon.
It does look like a bad dragon. Let's call it marital aid.
Marital aid.
It's
personal massager.
yeah, there you go. It's a back massager. That would be terrible at massaging your back. Oh my God. Let's see some. Oh yeah, and the thing he says finally is it's like everything I've taught you, forget it. Don't live by the rules. And it sounds like
The whole movie is
it's like this whole movie was bullshit. I'm leaving now. Really, that sounds like they were, like, paying off something that was never set up. Like it feels like a lot was cut out of this, and probably, like, him saying a bunch of rules.
and
like,
maybe some stuff that should have been cut out that was left in.
yeah, I'm betting there's a whole bunch of rule timers saying, Rule 1, don't do that. Rule 2, don't fight the boggart. Rule 3, don't sleep with witches, you dumb shit. And then, because that would make sense then, if we say, hey, don't live your life by the rules. And it's like, well, you haven't mentioned one rule in this entire movie.
I know.
So,
Well, maybe he's just, to reinforce what I've been teaching already.
wait, didn't you see the wall? And then he, like, walks him in there. Before I go, you see this rule? Here's this wall with rules carved into it.
Remember when I told you about these?
No,
Off screen?
oh yeah, off screen. Yep, when we did the other stuff. Okay. And I like it. She's saying to him, like, it's like, so you've chosen this life. It's like, no, this life chose me. And I'm sitting there like, all I can think of is the picture of that kid with the with the straw glasses that says, I didn't choose the thug life chose me. Because he really doesn't seem that badass. He's still just like a pretty 20-something.
They got the worst pretty 20-something for this.
Yeah,
too.
I wish Jon Snow was the guy. I wish
It should have been Jon Snow.
I wish the kid that we have now, he died, and Jon Snow was the one we got, because he seemed like more of a badass.
Or even the kid from 13 Reasons Why. That's Percy Jackson. The kid from 13 Reasons.
No, it's a different actor.
Clay.
But it's not the same actor from.
Okay,
Should
so
have had that kid.
okay, guys. So look.
I don't know. Ben Barnes.
That being said,
choice.
don't watch this damn movie. There's a reason it came to Netflix recently,
And
several years after its release.
I don't like fantasy-based medieval movies anyway. So
You don't like
that's just me
anything-
personally. 1/3 of the podcast does not like, but the other 2/3 are like okay with.
You don't
I'm
like
just saying.
anything with witches, vampires, werewolves.
I bet when you watched
magic.
I bet when you watched Lord of the Rings, you just sat there with your arms crossed. And
He didn't. He didn't even
did.
watch it.
What?
I did see Lord of the Rings
When?
in the theaters.
Ugh.
Is he just?
I was forced to like actually pay
Forced.
attention. I couldn't do
Forced.
anything.
I bet
Forced.
you were sitting there you had a look on your face like someone was holding a plate of shit under your nose, just like no.
See, we shouldn't have even gone over. We should have like done like a big overview of this film and then just talked to him about
I
his
think so.
disdain for
Okay.
anything.
I don't.
fantasy.
Vampires. and fantasy.
Okay, look,
Why?
Because vampires are always like, I don't know. They're just always like.
Okay, we're gonna watch
normal.
Underworld next.
But Underworld.
They're always all.
Underworld's pretty good.
They're
You
always
might
all
not
goth,
hate
and
it.
they're like,
They're always
welcome
super
to our world. And,
Okay,
and-
what do you want to do? Do you want to do Tenet? Because that comes out tomorrow.
No.
Or you don't want to do
Wait,
Tenet?
what was the?
Oh, Tenet is sick. I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
What were those films that we were talking about that we all had to watch? We talked about it on a previous podcast.
Last
we all-
podcast
that we all had to watch.
Yeah, there
It
was.
was the Wolverine guys were in it. The guys that we wanted to be Wolverine.
Oh, Letterkenny.
Is there something else?
No, one's
Okay,
called
look.
like Omicron or something. I don't know.
Okay, guys, look.
We got to figure this
Okay,
out.
look, guys. I really have to get going to training now. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do, for real this time. Okay, you know what? Chill out for a
Wow.
minute.
Can you just keep it on like one lower volume? You can adjust that in post so you don't blow out our eardrum.
Every time. we
Okay,
do
I'm
this.
just gonna pretend like it didn't hurt my eardrum.
That being said, thanks for listening to the Transmit Podcast. I did not like this movie. Next time, how we do, we'll either do Tenet or Underworld. We'll decide later, okay?
What about that one on Netflix with the vamp? We saw one episode of that one, and that one
With the vampire?
where it's like the apocalypse, and it's instead of zombies.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
vampires.
it's Hellsing or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
Van Helsing.
No.
That
No,
movie
no,
sucked.
I did
That
not-
show
No, that
sucked.
sucks so hard.
That's bad.
Okay, so that being said, thanks for listening to the Transmit Podcast. I really have to go to training now. I'm your host, Spike.
I'm Victor.
I'm Samantha.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. More on all this.
What? No, it's
More
fine.
on all
No,
this.
stop.